Hey everyone, this is Julian Wong from the Binary Lab and doing a weekly mindset video. This week we're talking about the common mistakes made by newbies when trading against the trend. So the past few weeks have been very interesting, but especially this past week. In this week, we've seen gold pushing very, very high at the same time as like the USD JPY pushing like 200 pips down on a non-farm payroll. Okay, so there's some very big movements in the market, and I would compare that to free fall. Okay, so I'm at the end of this month. I'm actually going to Germany for an event, a conference event for like binary options, people in the binary options industry, and I was looking at when I'm in Europe, what else can I do? And I came across this video. You can search for it. It's called Denmark Free Fall. You can search Insane Denmark Free Fall. What it is a professionally done ride where you get to go up on a crane lift, and it's about 300 something meters, and then you fall right down from there. Your only safety is like a cord, okay, and some guarding nets on the side. It's quite a big setup, and then at the bottom is a huge trampoline net. So during the past week or two, we have had occasions that were good, not so good, but the ultimate issue that has been brought up very, very glaringly in the last 2 weeks of trading in the Binary Lab is money management. Okay, so when you're trading against the trend, there's always the risk of the currency going into a runaway. A runaway is when it keeps going up and up and up, or it goes into some sort of like a free fall. When it does that, you need to consider what are your measures in trading that. Okay, normally I would teach people under ordinary circumstances to take the trades like a certain interval apart, because as long as you keep to a certain interval, there's a very good likelihood of it coming back. But when it's in a free fall, then you need to be able to time it just right. So you need to watch out for a couple of things. There's always there's the drop. You need to know when the drop has lost velocity. You need to know when it hits the safety net, and when it starts to make that refraction. Okay, so based on that principle, if you can structure your investment in those trades in a way that is not all gone at once, you can actually come back very, very profitable. All right, just like as you guys know, I have quite a big account that started from a very small amount last year, and although it's seen some nasty points, because I've told you in the past I've done some very, very aggressive trading, but in recent times, because of the size of the account and the size of the maximum trade that I'm allowed to place, I'm only allowed to place like 5,000 per trade. So and that forces me to have to click the 5,000 trade many times. All right, and what that does is that in a free fall, it actually helps me get better and better prices. So it's like a blessing in disguise. Sometimes I think, oh shit, that is such a, I would have thought that's such a big drop, right? I would just totally, dump a whole sum on that, and then the next moment, what newbies would do is that they see, oh, such a big drop, I'm gonna double my money. I'm gonna risk like I'm gonna double my money today. I'm gonna risk like 80% on that trade. And what happens right after that? What if it keeps dropping? The blessing in disguise, like I said, is because I'm only allowed to place $5,000 trades at every time. I place a $5,000 trade, maybe a second one, and then I find that, hey, it's still dropping, right? So, and then I hold back, and then I see that it kind of lost momentum. I place a few more, and then I think that, hey, I think it kind of reached a equilibrium point right? It stayed at that point for a little bit of time. I think it's kind of good. Place a little bit more, and then when I see that it's making a refraction, I place lots of trades over there. So in other words, just going very heavy in at that point. But the mechanism of this is to go like small, a little bit more, some more, and then once you know that it's in a refraction, it's making its way back more on that. So you can actually draw a Fibonacci retracement, like 100% at the top and the bottom is going to be 0%. You see it making the 11.1. I mean, sorry, it's hard. It's at the bottom. It's probably bouncing between like 23.6, 0, 11.1, and then 0, 11.1 a little bit, and then 11.1 to 23.6. Then you start to, you know that it's coming back. So, advice for newbies. Many of the time, like I said, you place a very large amount. When you see that this is going to make a huge recovery, right? Then instead, how about placing a little bit, and then, I mean, it comes back to the main principle. Don't be greedy, right? If you're not greedy, then you're not going to run yourself into a problem. Most people blow their accounts because they're greedy. Fact. So, although, you know, you probably, based on your account size, you can specify as large a trade as you want, but don't do that. If you're new and you want to get the hang of doing this, why don't you just leave your account on like, you know, $10 trades, $5 trades, and do it the same way as me. For me, it's because I'm limited to 5,000. But for you, if you're just trying to fish a very huge reversal, why don't you go like, okay, you go like 10 bucks, 10 bucks. Oh, it's still dropping. Okay, I'll wait for a little while. All right, 10 bucks, 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 and it comes back down. Okay, equilibrium. 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, and it comes back around. 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks. Maybe like 2 clicks, maybe 4 clicks here, and 4 clicks here. Over here, start slamming like 6 clicks or something like that. So in total, right, you've only risked 200 or so. And what if the first 6 trades don't make it? You still have 14 trades of 10 bucks that make it. And when I do that with my account, what people see, oh, you know, stacks of money on a trade. Not true. I did lose the initial sum. Maybe I came off that whole what do you call it, free fall rebound with a huge profit, right? A huge percentage as well. But that's because the trades from the later point, when it's running out of momentum, to the equilibrium, to the refraction, had a clean sweep of winning rate, but the ones in the beginning were lost. Okay, so common mistakes made by newbies, and that's how to fix it. All right. Now, I want you to think of it as, think of another thing as well. What if you cannot afford to do that? What if you cannot afford to place all these, even like $5, and 5, and 5, and 5. What if you can't afford to do that? Let's come back to that free fall example, right? So I was looking at a YouTube video, and I actually might do that if I, you know, don't lose myself getting around Europe. Is that when you do that when I saw the ride, you know, the safety net was at least 10 stories above ground. 10 stories. If every story is about 3 meters tall, the safety net that catches you, the trampoline, was at least 30 meters off ground, maybe more. Okay, because they're dropping you from like 100 stories high. So 10 is in fact very minimum. And it's the same as, think about it, alright? if you're gonna be dropping from such a big height, do you want there only to be thin mats that you sleep on to cushion your fall? Do you think that's really going to save you? Do you really think that's going to save your binary options trading account? Probably not, right? You need something thicker, okay? And if you cannot have the means to go that thick, what do? Don't do it, okay? So, and there comes a time when you find that, you know, there's just no means. You know, you're maybe you're with a broker that your minimum trade is like $25. You're broke, and then your account is a small one, so you can't go like 5. You have to go like 25. Just not gonna cut it, because you do 25 like 20 times. What's that? $500. And your account is maybe, if your account is like $600, you're putting your whole account on the line. Is that wise? No. But if you're a $600 account, you're doing all these $5 trades, like 5. Even if you did like an air pick, like 40 trades down there, that's just $200, right? It's not going to kill you, and the later trades is going to make you a lot of money. That's for sure, right? So, coming to a close of this video, because I need to stay within the 15-minute time limit that YouTube imposes. The good news is, the Binary Lab has added a few new brokers to the mix. So these are brokers that allow you to start from as low as $1 per trade. And you guys have been asking for this for forever, right? So we have a broker for the US that's in the list. And we have a broker for the people in Europe that's regulated in the list as well. Both of these accept trades from as low as $1. Okay, so when you open accounts with these brokers through the Binary Lab by filling out the form, so go to theBinaryLab.net and click on the join button. It's going to give you this whole form where you fill in your name, your email, you know, your select your broker, and it's going to give you a selection. Okay, so if you're in the US, you want to select on that form Trade Thunder. That's going to enable you to place these $1 trades. And then if you're from the rest of the world, I've got a broker called Bull Binary. It's regulated. It's you know, formed by people formerly from option trade with a group of investors, and you know, it's a very cool regulated website. So these brokers accept trades from $1, and if let's say you don't have the means to trade with a large sum of money, that's a cool thing as well. Alright, so just check out these ones. There is a minimum deposit that's mentioned on the form. So go to theBinaryLab.net, click on join button. On the broker list, beside each broker, if there's a minimum, I state it beside. Okay, so these are our arrangements with the broker for the minimum sum to join with that broker. So just check that out. But I highly recommend that you get on one of these ones if you're looking to start small. But obviously, if you are, you know, if you're opening a much larger account, let's say you're opening an account like 1,000, 2,000 and above, you're spoiled for choice. There's so many brokers that have been added. Like in the past couple of days, I've added just about, you know, 7 brokers. So we have like 13 or even 15 options that you can choose from. So with that, I look forward to seeing you inside the Binary Lab. Come and trade a community that helps you make money. We make 2 to 5% per daily on a very conservative basis on most of the time. So economic instability, you know, what I do is that when I see something unusual, I'll say, you know, let's just stop here. Let's just cut loss. Let's just be fine with wiping out yesterday's gain or even the day before's gain as well. But let's preserve our account, because once we catch a good week, catching a good week is far better than trying to beat a bad market. Remember that. Trying to cushion ordinary bounces in the market is much better than trying to beat a free fall, and it gets quite scary too. So last final tip of the day, you know,